There is an amazing Ash buff that just landed in Apex Legends, but it's got me worried. Let's talk about it and why this buff seems to get everyone so hyped, why I've played it this morning and had a very good time, and I'm going to show you some footage I just recorded, but it also is giving me a sense of potential dread and doubt that maybe what I'm hoping for, maybe what a lot of the community is hoping for, still won't happen with Ash. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Make sure to leave a like and say what's up in the comments as well. I haven't done a video like this in a while, but I'm excited to break it down because this buff is spicy, and you're going to see exactly in this gameplay how it is to be used in the best of the ability that you probably have and are going to try to utilize in game. And I'm going to show you a few examples that I found a lot of value to be had with. Now, let's talk a little bit about what the buff is quickly, because most of you know it, but let's go over the details since a lot of people didn't really understand a few of those lines at the very end. The first thing that happened to the buff is the cooldown went from 25 seconds to 20 seconds on her ability called Arc Snare. Now, as you just saw it right there, Arc Snare is a tether that grows in size and sticks to wherever it lands, whether it be a player or whether it be some location like a wall or the ground. Now you're going to have that a full 20% more, which means it is going to make an impact in terms of how much you feel you're able to arc tether and arc snare your opponents. It means a lot. Trust me, having played it anecdotally, you really feel like it's a bigger part of the game. Hold on to that thought. The second thing that they did was they increased the speed. So in the units of measurement that Apex Legends uses, it used to travel 700 in terms of speed. Now it travels 1200. So let's just say that 1400 would be double. It's close to double. It's closer to double the speed in terms of knot. And I think when you see it and you test it, you will notice this is such an impactful change in being able to hit opponents who are on the run and moving. Even trying it out in the firing range earlier today, I was like, oh my God, like I can hit the moving targets with this thing. And coming from where it was, that is a massive deal. We all know that. We've all experienced Ash before. But as you can see here, I think in almost every single moment that I've tried to have the tether, I have set up something like a phenomenal kill. And that leads me to one of the other things that we wanted to address that most people didn't understand. The third line of the changes were tether activation delay and snare grow time decreased by 50%. In parentheses, they say the Arc Snare will more reliably hit intended targets. But for those who want to know what that means, tether activation delay means when you're actually going and being able to activate throwing that tether, it is going to be decreased. So that will be less time, meaning it will be a faster, essentially, activation. And also the grow time. The time it would take from right out of your hands when she spins it up, throws it out, and it hits somebody, that grow time to get to full size, it's going to be decreased as well by 50%. So that will happen faster. All in all, it will be more reliable, and it makes a big difference. And to me, this is one of the most interesting things that I've seen in terms of a character. A tactical change that has made a world of difference in how this character feels. I mean, one of the differences, I think, when you can look at this tactical in terms of the other best tacticals in the game, you could look at Caustic, you could look at Watson, you could look at Catalyst. Those are probably the three other tacticals, whether it's the fences from Watson, the barrels, the cans from Caustic, or if you look at just having the piercing spikes from Catalyst, that I don't want those effects. You're pretty much in a death trap. But when you utilize this Arc Snare from Ash, you actually get to throw it and implement it on others. Those other things are stationary. You have to run into them. You can actually, as an enemy player, see that they're there and move away. This Arc Snare is something that can be thrown at you, that a good player now can reliably hit. And that means that, yes, although those three might be worse effects, this effect, I think, is going to cause more deaths per capita than any other tactical in the game right now. Now, we'll see how it pans out, but the way I felt is that when someone gets arc snared by me and my team, it's pretty much over, or we're pretty much in a great situation, especially if you could follow up on it. You can also use this to kind of space out enemies before we get to our second point of this, which is a major point to this character and to this buff. You could use it to space out enemies and corral areas. You could not only lock them down where they are hiding behind boxes, as you see many people hide behind boxes to set up kills there, but you could throw it behind that box and force them to run to the other side, making their play predictable, like an Australian shepherd with a flock of sheep, just making them go where you want to go, helping you to obviously accomplish your main goal, and that's to get them all into the bin and lock them up, whether that's your kind of style or whether it's not, it's still very, very effective here in terms of making sure that players are predictable on the other side. Now, the other thing, the number two, I think most important element of this change is, as you can see here, not only how deadly this is, but how reliable this is. Now, reliability feels like a very small thing, and sorry, I have something in my eye, but it truly does feel like not that important, right? Reliability, what is that? Well, let's take a back seat and go to our lives for a moment. Whenever you think of the word reliability, who do you think of? Think of probably your parents, maybe a good friend, maybe your relationship, your spouse, maybe even your children, your teachers, somebody that you can count on. And what does that allow you to do when you can count on what someone is going to do in your life or how they're going to be there for you? Well, it means you can predict that behavior, and then you can make adjustments to your life knowing that isn't a question mark. And this is what has been the problem with Ash for so long. Using that tactical before was like saying 7 Hail Marys and praying that it hit someone across the map. But by the time it got there, you would probably be dead or have fallen asleep. Either way, you wouldn't barely have any opportunity to allow yourself to capitalize on that, let alone your other teammates. Imagine throwing an Arc Snare in the slow Arc Snare that happened before across the map like I've been doing in this gameplay and saying, yo, I got an Arc Snare. Hold on. Wait, it's coming. I promise. It's going to get there. Oh, dang, I missed. You can't plan any high-level play off of that, which means it's essentially not an ability you could use at the highest level or even in high-level ranks, even though Ash is a character that on average is played at kind of a platinum level, even though she's only got about a 3 to 3.4% pick rate compared to some of the higher pick rate legends like Pathfinder with around 11% pick rate. So you can tell that there's still potential there, but it wasn't reliable and people had to choose other options. In fact, when Ash came out in the season Stormpoint came out, season 11, I thought Ash was really going to take the next level of play and play rate. I thought Wraith was done. She was kind of in the gutter. There was this opportunity for a new character like Ash with quick mobility and with this great utility and tactical presence to make an impact. But unfortunately, it wasn't her time. Once people realized with Furia coming in, taking over this Horizon, Seer, and Valkyrie meta, also with a little bit of Bangalore in there and maybe some Fuse sprinkled in, we saw this hyper-aggressive composition totally dominate. And from that moment, Seer has been a huge part of the meta. Bangalore as well. Valkyrie almost untouchable until just a couple of seasons ago, and maybe just this season where people are questioning if they need it. And Ash dropped to the wayside. Again, I think because these tethers weren't that reliable. That is completely different now. I think you've seen me in this gameplay throw many tethers, I'd say at least 10. How many of them have hit? Quite a lot. And you can tell that this is not the way Ash used to play. And for me, this is almost getting to the point of why I'm worried. She's one of those legends that I truly believe you are going to have to play very soon and keep your eyes on. But again, where's the worry coming from, Evan? What is going on? Why is there an issue here when everything seems so good? I think that's a great question. And I even asked myself this earlier before making this video. What am I excited about and what am I worried about in terms of this? Because I'm starting to think of Ash in a completely different light after just one half-day gameplay session. The thing that I'm worried about is that it may not be enough. Yes, it may not be enough, and I desperately want it to. In this gameplay, you could see how much fun I'm having, and also you could see how cool it is, how different it is to have Ash having this constant yet valuable impact in terms of slowing people down, catching them off guard, creating these opportunities, another tether that we're hitting, creating these opportunities to put people in tough situations. This is exactly the type of Apex I love to see and I love to play. But what has always held Ash back might still be the thing that is holding her back this time. And that might be her ultimate and her mobility in comparison to other legends. See, when something becomes reliable, now you can actually use it, which is great. And we're going to see what it looks like to live in an Apex world where the tether, the tactical, the Arc Snare is something you got to play around, just like a Caustic Barrel, just like a Watson Fence, just like a Piercing Spikes and a Dark Veil on a Catalyst. You're going to have to play around this bad boy because it's going to be there. But is there going to be that other element that makes someone say, not only is Ash good, is Ash better? And I think here's where the rub is. Ash's ultimate has been the thing that many people have kind of gotten on Ash for as a character as the last missing piece. And while this is an amazing addition to not only a brand new heirloom and what clearly will be a higher play rate for this character in Season 16, with even a new addition to the Skirmisher Clash, which I think overall just makes Ashe better. She gets more ammo, she gets more isolated and effective high-level kits for whether it's her weapons, her scopes, or anything offensive to allow her teammates to be in a better position towards late game. The truth of the matter is, if she doesn't have an ultimate that can be comparable to something that can have team utility like the Wraith, even though you can make hype plays like that 1v1, it's going to be hard to argue her position over other legends. Whether it's Valkyrie, whether it's Bangalore, who obviously with her smokes and with her artillery strike, the ability to control space, it's just one of the most valuable things in high-level play. And while Ashe can control space really well offensively now, can she redirect, can she reposition, and can she take areas that other people won't be able to? Well, that's the real question, but why would you be worried about that, Rainday? Well, the ultimate has had several bugs that I think they've worked hard to fix, but are they fixed? The other thing is the distance, and I think this is where I would say in terms of the next buff for Ashe, she needs to have an increased level of distance to her ultimate. Let's break it down, because Wraith and Ashe might be the best comparison in terms of who's better and who should I pick right now. While Wraith is always going to have, in my opinion, the best ability in the game, Into the Void. It's immunity frames. It gets you in, it gets you out. It's basically try again button, right? Stop time and let myself regroup. The other thing that I think is so important is that while Ashe is up-leveled her tactical, Wraith's ultimate has way up-leveled Ashe's. Now Wraith's ultimate, because it went from, I believe, 90 or maybe 75 meters, something like that, all the way to 152 in this latest patch, she can now travel so far in one ultimate that it would take Ashe 3 ultimates to go farther than Wraith can in just one. Ashe's Phase Breach only takes you 62 meters. So let's just say reliability is there. It's not far enough in these final moments to have the same level of access and control of where you want to play in these games. And it forces teams to do something that just they might not be ready for. It might not be, the juice might not be worth the squeeze. And that's what I'm worried about. Now, Wraith does have a longer cooldown. It's 3.5 minutes to get her ultimate back, while Ashe's is only 2 minutes. So what you'll notice is you have this ultimate quickly, but it's going to take you 4 minutes to just go 140 meters. 132 meters. That's the crazy part about Ashe's Phase Breach, is that even with 2 and 4 minutes, you're not going to be able to travel far enough. It'll take you 6 minutes to basically get that distance over the Wraith. And by that time, she'll be right about to get another ultimate, and it won't even be close. If you want to create the parity, if you want to create the opportunities for Ashe to succeed, you've done so. And Respawn, what a great change and a huge quality of life shift. And I am excited that Ashe, I think, has, if not one of, maybe the best tactical in the game outside of some of the ones I just mentioned. But in terms of her being in the ALGS and the highest level of the meta, I'm a little worried that she doesn't have enough with her ultimate to do. But only time will tell. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Does she have enough? Alliance seem to think so. Some other teams starting to play her a little bit, but will it take over? That's what I want to find out. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.